Hello and welcome to another live episode of English Help Desk. And today we are going to be looking at idioms with black. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you 10 different idioms that all contain the word black in them. And then after that, I'll give you a definition as well as 2 examples for each of the idioms. Now, black, at least in English, is not usually a positive color. We very often use black for more negative or angry emotions or things that people have done wrong, as a way to express that people have done something wrong. However, the idioms that we will be looking at are to be in the black, black and blue, a black day. We will also be looking at black ice, black ice, blacklist, a black look, and then a black mark, the black sheep or the black sheep of the family. And then finally, the last 2 are in someone's black books and in black and white. So those are today's idioms that we will be looking at. Let's begin with the first one, be in the black. Now, I said that black usually has a negative meaning or a negative association. However, we begin with one of a few idioms where black actually has a positive association with the phrase. So here, the definition or the meaning is to have money in one's bank account, be in credit. So I think that's something that we all enjoy, being able to have access to our money, being able to spend our money, or at the very least, not having to worry too much about owing people lots and lots of different, debts and loans and so on. So let's have a look at an example. I've paid off all my debt and I don't owe money to anyone. It's good to be back in the black. So here in this example, the person clearly has had lots of debts, lots of loans that they've had to pay off over, I don't know, a number of years, a number of months, a number of weeks, who knows. But finally, they've paid everything off. And yeah, instead of giving money away to all these people all the time, they can finally keep their money and start enjoying it, or at least stop worrying about having to give away money all the time. All right, let's have a look at a second example. I have a lot of student loans to pay. I won't be in the black for many years to come. So student loans, going to university can be a very expensive thing, especially these days. And to be able to afford to go to university, lots of people have to get money from the bank or another organization that gives money to help students pay for university. But of course, all of that money has to be given back to the bank or the organization. And being that university can be very expensive, it can take a very, very long time, a number of years for the majority of people. So this person, having just finished university, knows that they've got to continue to pay the bank or organization back, so that the money that they're earning, they can't keep all of that money. They have to be giving it back to the people who originally gave them the money in the first place. And so in this case, they'll be in the red. the red meaning to owe people money or to not have much money or any money in your bank account at all. So be in the black, basically to have money in your bank account, to be in credit. All right, let's have a look at our next idiom. Our next idiom is black and blue. So we've got two colors here, black and blue, but what this means is having a lot of bruises on the body after an accident or a fight, etc. So in both of those cases, yeah, perhaps, if someone's punched you, you're going to get a bruise. And very often bruises are black and blue. And so the idiom here just reflects the color of bruises. Of course, bruises change color a little bit as they get older. But black and blue means having a lot of bruises on your body. As an example, I fell over a lot when I went skiing last year. I was black and blue all over. So yes, skiing can come with a lot of hazards, particularly if you're not very good at skiing. Now, fortunately, the person in this example has clearly not broken any bones, but the falling over a lot has caused some injuries to their body. To be black and blue all over means to be completely covered in bruises, or to have bruises on your legs, your arms, your body, possibly your face as well. Another example is my cousin likes to punch me on the arm. It's always black and blue because of him. So I don't know if you've got a cousin or a friend like this, but some people, yeah, just like punching, maybe as a joke to have fun, or maybe just because they're not a nice person. But yeah, being punched on the arm a lot, especially if you're punched hard, you're going to start getting bruises. And that's basically what black and blue means, to have bruises. All right, let's move on to our next idiom. A black day. So this is where the idioms really start becoming more negative. A black day. What does a black day mean? It means an unhappy day when something bad or sad happens. So yeah, a black day, something bad or sad happens, it affects our feelings, it affects our emotions, and we become sad and gloomy due to whatever bad thing happened. Let's have a look at an example. It was a black day for many people around the world when the news came that David Bowie had died. David Bowie, I'm never sure how to pronounce his name anymore, but David Bowie was certainly a superstar, extremely famous, and so when he died a few years ago, it affected lots and lots of people. Lots and lots of people felt grief, felt sadness due to his death. So yeah, it was definitely a black day when that news came out. Another example. It was a black day for me when my favorite music shop closed down. So this is a more personal black day, instead of the first example where many people all over the world are sharing the same emotions. Here, only I am experiencing the emotions, or perhaps the owners of the shop as well. But when a shop closes down, particularly a favorite shop, that makes people sad. They often like to go to that shop. That shop served whatever things that they needed, in this case, music and CDs. And so when that shop stops selling things, when it stops its business, yeah, for customers who really liked that shop, yeah, it's a black day for them. It's a sad day for them because they will never be able to go back to that shop again. All right, let's move on. Black ice. So less of an idiom, more of a noun, really. But let's have a look at this anyway. Black ice is ice that is almost invisible on roads and therefore very dangerous. So yeah, black ice, I don't know why it's called black ice. Presumably when the term was invented, roads were typically black, and because you couldn't see the ice on them, the ice looked black because it was invisible. But yeah, black ice is ice that's very difficult to see, and yeah, you don't know that there's any ice on the road until you actually hit it. So, as an example, be careful when driving. There's a lot of black ice on the roads, and I don't want you to have an accident. So yeah, black ice can be very, very dangerous. Let's actually look at a second example before I go into any more detail. Black ice causes a lot of terrible accidents every winter as cars slide across the road. So again, black ice is dangerous because it's difficult to see. It's difficult to know that it's there. Therefore, when a car hits black ice, it loses control and starts sliding and slipping all over the place and can cause lots of accidents. Maybe the car crashes off the road, or maybe a car spins around, another car hits the first car, so on and so on. Black ice can definitely be dangerous, and you should be careful if there's black ice around because it's very difficult to see. All right, let's move on to our next one then. Blacklist. Now, blacklist is used in two different ways, as both a noun and as a verb. So we're going to have a look at both of those right now. We're going to look at the noun version of blacklist first. So blacklist as a noun is a list of persons or people who are considered to be dangerous, undesirable, disloyal, etc. Basically, if you've done something bad, then the person that you've done something bad to, or the company, or the organization, or the country will put you down on a blacklist. Now, this can be a real list where people actually write down or type into a computer, or it can be more of a mental list, particularly if we're just talking about another person. Let's have a look at an example. After I really upset her, I was put on her blacklist. So in this example, I've upset someone, I've made them feel bad or angry in some kind of way due to the actions that I have done, and that person no longer wants to talk to me anymore. Basically, I've been put on her blacklist, so probably a mental list of the people that she doesn't like or the people that she doesn't want to talk to anymore. A second example using blacklist as a noun, his name is on the blacklist, so he will never be able to enter the country again. So this is an example of a blacklist used in a much bigger example. Criminals, terrorists, very, very, very bad people often are put onto a country's blacklist. So if they leave the country, they will never be able to enter again. Yeah, it happens a lot. But as I say, in this example, in such a big example like a country, you've got to have done something pretty, pretty bad before you're put on that country's blacklist. All right, let's have a look then. Let's have a look at blacklist being used as a verb. So yeah, if you're blacklisted, then you are put on a blacklist, basically. So let's have a look at an example. I was blacklisted by her family after I really upset Jane. So here I upset Jane, and now the whole family doesn't like me. So they've put me down on their blacklist as people that they don't like anymore. I was blacklisted by the family. The second example, workers were blacklisted after they said terrible things about their boss. So in this example, workers have said nasty things, not nasty enough that they will lose their job, but yeah, their boss has decided that he no longer trusts those workers, and those workers are certainly not the boss's favorite employees anymore. All right, let's move on. Let's have a look at a black look. What does a black look mean? A black look means a look of anger, dislike, resentment, etc. You know that look. Yeah. So you've done something bad to you, and they show their anger by just looking at you and just in a terrible way, a black look. Let's have a look at an example. John gave me a really black look after I said his drawing was not that good. So by saying John's drawing is not good, I've insulted him, or I've insulted his drawing skills, and as a way of showing me his anger, he's given me a black look. All right, example number 2. I gave my girlfriend a black look when she said that my favorite t-shirt made me look like a bee. So this one comes from a more personal experience. I really did have a t-shirt that had yellow and black stripes. I thought it looked nice, but my girlfriend said it made me look like a bee. I was not happy. I gave her a black look as a response. All right, a black mark. What does a black mark mean? So a black mark has the meaning or definition of a mental or written record of someone's misconduct, failure, etc., that counts against them. So this is, again, kind of similar to a black look or blacklist. You've done something bad, and as a response, that person you've done something bad to has put a mark next to your name, like, I'm going to remember you. I'm going to remember the bad thing that you did. All right, let's have a look at an example. Not doing your homework is a real black mark against you. So if you're a student and you've forgotten to do your homework, yeah, the teacher is going to remember that detail by putting a black mark next to your name. You've done something wrong by not doing the homework, and this is how the teacher is going to remember the bad thing that you've done. A second example, my boss gave me a black mark as I was late for the 3rd time this week. So here I was late the first time. Maybe the boss was being kind and was like, okay, I'm going to forget about it. You're late once, doesn't matter. We're all late sometimes. So I've been forgiven the first time. The second time, maybe my boss is a bit more like, That's 2 times now. I'm going to forgive you again, but now please don't be late again. But I was late for a 3rd time, and now the boss is definitely unhappy. 3 times in 1 week? That's not forgivable. I am going to put a black mark next to your name to show that you've done something pretty bad. All right, let's move on to the next one. The black sheep, or the black sheep of the family. So again, this is a longer phrase, and as usual with longer idioms, very often people shorten it to the first half. But let's have a look at what that means. So if you are the black sheep, or if you are the black sheep of the family, you are a person whose conduct is considered to be a disgrace to the family or the group. So yeah, you've done something bad, and your own family your own family will not forgive you. It can have a slightly lighter meaning. If you're the black sheep, sometimes you're a person who's just a little bit different to the rest of the family, but we often use it in a much stronger way. As mentioned, you've done something bad, and the whole family doesn't like you anymore and doesn't want you to be part of their family. Let's have a look at an example. My brother is the black sheep of our family, as he is always starting fights with other people. Now, this being an example, I do have a brother. He's a lovely guy. He never starts fights. This is merely an example. But in the example, yeah, the brother is not such a nice guy. Maybe he drinks too much alcohol and just gets angry all the time. But people don't like the way that this brother behaves. And so, yeah, the family don't like the way that he behaves, so he's become the black sheep of the family. Nobody wants much to do with him. Nobody wants to talk to him or be around him very much. A second example, my uncle became the black sheep of the family after he cheated on his wife, who we all like. So again, this is only an example. None of my uncles have ever done anything bad like this. This is just an example. But the uncle has cheated on his wife. So what does cheating on your wife mean? It means to have another girlfriend, basically. So yeah, being disloyal to the wife. So in this case, the wife is a member of a family that everyone else likes. So the uncle's done something bad by finding another girlfriend, and that's made the rest of the family angry towards the uncle. The uncle has become the black sheep of the family. In someone's black books. So a lot of these idioms have very similar meanings, and this one definitely has a similar meaning to a lot of the others. If you are in someone's black books, you are out of favor with someone, or to be in trouble with someone. Blacklisted, black mark, black sheep. Yeah, it's got a very similar meaning to all of those. You've done something bad, and as a way of remembering that you've done something bad, the other person has, yeah, made a note of that somehow. You are in their black books. So, an example. I'm in my teacher's black books after I drew rude pictures on the blackboard. So I think we all know someone who's done something like that. But yeah, if you're going to draw rude pictures on the blackboard, of course, the teacher's going to be pretty angry with that person. You have made it onto or into their black books. Another example, I'm in my girlfriend's black books after I said the weather girl was very pretty. So by saying I think another person is pretty, I've made my girlfriend angry and I am in her black books. All right. This one, I believe, is the last idiom. In black and white. Okay, so we have another color here, white, but let's have a look at what in black and white means. And it means to be in writing or in print. So in a book or a newspaper or a magazine, or these days on the internet, on a respected internet site. But we often use black and white to state that something is legally binding. Okay, so yeah, it's written down and you have to obey what the thing is that has been written down. Okay, so let's have a look at an example. So he promised he would give me a job, but I will only believe it when I see it in black and white. Now, I've been in this situation in the past where I've been offered a job, but without a contract, without being given a contract, yeah, I feel nervous because I feel like that job could be taken away. But as soon as I get the contract and I sign it, everything is legally binding. I've signed a contract, all the information is printed in black and white. As soon as I get that contract, great, I got the job and I didn't have to worry anymore. Another example. I didn't believe the news when he told me, so he had to show the news to me in black and white. So I remember a few years ago, one of my favorite comedians, Rick Mail, passed away. And I heard people talking about it in the office, and I could not believe it. Even though everybody was talking about it, I just could not accept the truth until I went on to the BBC News and I saw the truth there, right there in black and white on the website that Rick Mail had passed away. So, very often, just because we hear somebody talking about something, we might not believe it, or we might think it to be gossip or a rumor until we see the actual information written down either in a newspaper, magazine, or a respected website. All right, so what I'm going to do now is to give you a review. So here I'm going to go through each of the idioms again. And before I give you each definition, I want you to see if you can remember the meaning of each of the idioms. Okay, are you ready? Let's begin. Be in the black. What did this mean? Okay, so to be in the black has the meaning of having money in one's bank account, be in credit. Basically, you don't have any loans or debts that you have to pay off. All the money that you receive from your job or your family, yeah, you get to keep that in your bank account. To be in the black means to have money and not worry too much about the money that you have. Black and blue. What does black and blue mean? Okay, black and blue has the meaning of having a lot of bruises on the body after an accident, fight, etc. Yeah, so if you're black and blue all over, it means that you've got bruises all over your body, because bruises are very often black and or blue when they first appear. A black day. What was the meaning of a black day? A black day means an unhappy day when something bad or sad happens. So a black day is when something bad or sad happens and you feel sad all day long. It's not just something small, it's usually something big that affects your emotions for a long period of time, usually an entire day, if not more. And yeah, we use a black day for that. Black ice. What did black ice mean? Okay, black ice has the meaning of ice that is almost invisible on roads and therefore very dangerous. So black ice is ice that we cannot see, but we have to be careful of, because if our car hits the black ice, it's going to skid or slide and possibly cause a terrible or nasty accident. Blacklist. So if you remember, this one actually had two meanings, one as a noun, one as a verb. But what were the meanings of blacklist? As a noun, a blacklist is a list of persons who are considered to be dangerous, undesirable, or disloyal. So if you've done something bad to another person or company or country potentially, yeah, you are written down on their list of people that they don't like. As a verb, blacklist has the meaning of to be put on a blacklist. So yeah, to be blacklisted means someone has written down their name on their own blacklist. All right, a black look. What does a black look mean? A black look has the meaning of a look of anger, dislike, resentment, etc. So you do something bad to someone and they give you a terrible, angry look as a response to show that they don't like what it is that you have done. A black mark. What does a black mark mean? A black mark has the meaning of a mental or written record of someone's misconduct, failure, etc., that counts against them. So similar to blacklist, you do something wrong or do something bad, and you are given a black mark as that person's way of remembering that you've done something not good to them. The black sheep, or the black sheep of the family. What does this mean? If you are the black sheep, or if someone is the black sheep, basically they are a person whose conduct is considered to be a disgrace to the family or to the group. Again, the black sheep has done something bad and the people around them just don't want to be anywhere near them or have anything to do with that person anymore. In someone's black books. Do you remember this meaning? In someone's black books means to be out of favor with someone, to be in trouble with someone. So black books has a similar meaning to blacklist or black mark. You've done something bad to someone, that other person will find a way to remember that you've done something bad. In black and white. What does in black and white mean? In black and white means to be in writing or print, often used to state that something is legally binding. So yeah, if something is in black and white, it means that it is true. It is a fact, at least if it's in black and white on a respected source. You can go on Twitter and find lots of rumors and gossip. Doesn't mean all of that's true. But if you go to a respected website or a respected newspaper, seeing it written down means that it's true or it's a fact. And that's it for this lesson. So I would like you to practice using the idioms that I've given you. Try and write your own sentences. The best way to remember them is to keep using them. And the first way of doing that is just to practice by writing things down. Of course, if you want to practice in conversation, then make sure that other person has seen this video first so that they understand what it is that you're saying to them. After all, you don't want to use a lot of difficult language that they don't understand. Otherwise, they'll give you a black look and probably put you in their black books. English is a social language. So please, by commenting down below, you get to practice and hopefully other people will be able to respond to you. And finally, subscribe. Again, tell others about me as well so that they know what it is that you're talking about when you use these idioms with them. I also do a variety of different videos. I've got plenty of English grammar videos on this channel. I also have some writing-based videos. And one thing that I'm going to start doing is discussion or conversation tactics, ways to have a good and engaging discussion with other people. Those videos will be coming out hopefully from next week, but turn on that notification bell. Turn on that notification bell so that when I do release a new video, you will be the first to find out. Okay, thank you very much. Until next time, bye-bye.